The air in a prison changes on execution day, heavy, thick, and tense. It's as if the very walls absorb the anxiety, holding it in the silence that settles over every corridor. The usual noise fades, silence takes over, but it's not peaceful. Instead, it's a silence that presses in, making every footstep and every breath feel louder than usual. Staff move with grim purpose, faces set, preparing for what's to come. Every action is deliberate, every glance exchanged is heavy with unspoken understanding. The death house is cordoned off, access restricted, the rest of the prison on lockdown. Barriers go up, both physical and emotional, separating the condemned from the rest of the world. Inmates feel the tension even from their cells, sensing it in every guard's posture. Whispers travel down the cell blocks, rumors and fears mixing in the charged air. The prison's rigid control tightens, suffocating everyone inside. Every lock, every camera, every rule feels more oppressive than ever. Outside, protesters gather, some praying, some demanding justice or mercy. Their voices rise in the early morning, echoing against the cold stone walls. The media waits, ready to report, turning a private end into a public spectacle. Cameras are trained on the gates, capturing every moment for the world to see. For the condemned, the world shrinks to a single cell. Time slows, every second heavy. The small comforts of routine are stripped away, replaced by the weight of finality. The quiet is a constant reminder of what's coming. Each tick of the clock is a countdown echoing through the emptiness. Memories, regrets, and the reality of an ending fill the space. Thoughts race, looping through what was, what is, and what will never be again. The silence is the loudest sound of all. It's a silence that speaks of fear, of anticipation, of the unknown. The institution holds its breath, waiting for the moment to pass. Every person inside feels suspended, caught between routine and the extraordinary. The condemned faces the finality, alone with their thoughts. There is no escape from the reality that waits just beyond the cell door. The world outside watches, but inside, it's all about the wait. Time stretches, and the minutes feel endless. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation and dread. Every person carries the weight differently, but no one is untouched. Every movement, every sound is amplified by the stillness. Even the smallest noise seems to reverberate through the halls. The day is marked by a collective, unspoken anxiety. It's a tension that binds everyone together, even as it keeps them apart. The prison becomes a stage for a ritual everyone dreads. The execution chamber waits, cold and impersonal, for its role in the day's events. The condemned is at the center, but everyone feels the weight. Each person plays a part, willingly or not, in the unfolding drama. The silence binds staff, inmates, and the condemned together. It's a shared experience, a moment of unity in the face of something irreversible. It's a day when time seems to stop, and everyone waits for it to end. The hours drag, each one heavier than the last. The storm is coming, and the stillness is its warning. In this uneasy calm, everyone braces for what's next, knowing the silence will soon be broken. The last day is governed by strict protocol, no chaos, just procedure. Every movement, every decision, is dictated by a set of rules designed to maintain order and control, even in the face of the ultimate outcome. The prisoner is moved to the death watch cell, under constant surveillance. Here, privacy disappears, replaced by the unblinking eyes of cameras and guards, ensuring nothing is left to chance. Every action is logged, meals, visits, even bathroom trips. The record-keeping is relentless, a written testament to the system's need for accountability. The schedule is meticulous, every minute accounted for. Time is measured and managed, with no room for deviation or error. The warden and staff rehearse the plan, check equipment, confirm roles. Each person knows their responsibility, and every detail is reviewed again and again. Teams are assigned for every step: strapping, administering, witnessing. Each role is critical, and everyone is briefed to ensure nothing is overlooked. The process is clinical, designed to avoid mistakes. Sterility and precision replace emotion, as if routine can neutralize the gravity of the act. The prisoner's day is scheduled too: spiritual advisor, final calls, legal visits. These moments offer brief connection, a last chance for words and comfort. They choose a last meal, decide on a final statement, small acts of autonomy. In a world stripped of choice, these decisions carry immense weight. As the hours pass, the routine intensifies. The ticking clock becomes a constant reminder, each second bringing the end closer. The prisoner showers, changes clothes, hears the death warrant read aloud. These rituals mark the transition from life to what comes next. The medical team does a final check. Health is assessed not for recovery, but to ensure the process proceeds as planned. Each step is deliberate, part of a countdown. The sense of inevitability grows heavier with every completed task. The protocol manages the unmanageable, ending a life. It is a system's attempt to bring order to the most irreversible act. The structure is a shield against chaos and emotion. For those involved, it's a way to cope, to distance themselves from the weight of the moment. For the condemned, it's a march toward the inevitable. Each step echoes with finality, every moment heavy with meaning. For staff, it's about control and precision. Their focus is on procedure, but the gravity of the task is never far from mind. The day is a ritual, each action loaded with meaning. Every gesture, every word, is part of a script that has been followed countless times before. The final hours are a blur of procedure and waiting. The clock rules everything, dictating the pace and the end. The end is scheduled, and nothing is left to chance. Every detail is checked, every box ticked as the final moment approaches. The last 24 hours are a choreography of finality. It is a carefully orchestrated sequence where every action leads inevitably to the end. The last meal is a centuries-old ritual, a final gesture of humanity, offered even in the most unforgiving places. It stands as a symbolic act, a pause in the relentless machinery of justice. The condemned can request a special meal, within limits set by the institution. This small freedom is granted regardless of the crime, a rare allowance in a world defined by restriction. It's a rare moment of choice in a world of rules, a fleeting opportunity to exercise personal will when almost everything else has been taken away. Some choose comfort food from childhood, a taste of the world they're leaving behind. These familiar flavors can evoke memories of family, home, and better times. For others, it's a brief escape from the reality ahead, a way to reclaim a sense of normalcy, if only for a moment. The meal can be comforting, a final pleasure before the end, a small act of kindness in a place where kindness is rare. But it's also deeply ironic. Nourishment before destruction, a gesture of care before the ultimate act of punishment. Some refuse the meal, rejecting the gesture as hollow, a protest against a system that offers compassion only at the very end. Others accept it, making a final statement through their choice, using food as a last form of self-expression. For staff, preparing the meal is a strange, heavy task. They carry out their duty with a sense of gravity, aware of the significance of what they're doing. They serve food to someone who will soon be gone, a ritual that weighs on both sides of the cell door. The act highlights the human connection between keeper and condemned, a silent acknowledgement of shared humanity in a place built to separate. It's a reminder, this is a person, not just a case file, a life with memories, regrets, and final wishes. The last meal is a ritual of both care and contradiction, a moment that is both compassionate and cruel. It's a moment of humanity in an inhuman process, a brief pause in the relentless forward march toward the end. The choice, what to eat or not to eat, becomes a final act of self-expression, a way to assert identity when all else is lost. The ritual lingers, a small mercy before the end, echoing in the memories of all who witness it. In the end, it's a meal no one forgets, a final chapter in a story that ends with silence. In the death watch cell, time distorts, every minute stretches. The condemned faces a scheduled death, not a distant threat. Memories, regrets, and fears flood in. Isolation amplifies every emotion. Many turn to faith, seeking comfort from a spiritual advisor. It's not about conversion but finding peace and forgiveness. The presence of a compassionate person is a lifeline. Final calls and letters to family become precious, every word heavy. These are last chances to say, "I love you" or "I'm sorry." Some face the end with defiance, others with resignation. Each response is unique, shaped by life, crime, and belief. The final hours are a confrontation with oneself. All masks fall away. The condemned is left with only their thoughts and the ticking clock. The journey to the end is solitary, raw, and deeply human. In these hours, the reality of death is inescapable. Death row guards carry a hidden burden. On execution day, their role intensifies. They're responsible for a life until the end. They interact with the condemned, building a strange, temporary bond. The process is rehearsed, mechanical, a shield against emotion. But guards are human. Conversations with the condemned reveal shared humanity. When the time comes, they must lead that person to death. Many suffer quietly, nightmares, anxiety, strained relationships. The code of silence prevents them from seeking help. The emotional toll is immense, often lasting a lifetime. Some turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms. They are unseen victims of the system. The act of execution leaves a permanent scar. Guards are locked in their own kind of prison. Their burden is the price of carrying out society's ultimate punishment. Outside the cell, a legal battle rages to halt the execution. Lawyers file urgent appeals searching for any reason to delay. New evidence, mental competency, or method of execution, every angle is tried. Appeals reach the governor, sometimes even the president. Clemency is the last hope. A single call could mean life. Most appeals fail. The system values finality. For lawyers, it's a personal loss after years of fighting. The condemned and their team wait by the phone hoping for a miracle. Silence means the end is certain. The legal fight is frantic, desperate, and usually futile. The process is exhausting for everyone involved. When the final denial comes, hope is gone. The law has run its course. Nothing more can be done. The final visit is the most painful part of the last day. Family sees the condemned one last time, often separated by glass. Sometimes a final hug or touch is allowed, a moment of connection. Conversations are filled with love, apologies, and memories. Families try to offer comfort even as they break inside. For children, it's confusing and traumatic. For parents, it's agony. The clock ticks, reminding everyone how little time is left. When visiting time ends, the separation is brutal. The last words are spoken, the final hugs given. The prisoner returns to their cell, the family leaves knowing it's forever. The grief is overwhelming, the memory haunting. The last visit marks the start of a long journey of loss. It's a private anguish in a public place. The goodbye is final, unforgettable. The pain lingers long after the doors close. With all appeals denied and visits over, the final protocol begins. The warden and guards announce it's time. The condemned takes the last walk to the execution chamber. The tie-down team, familiar faces, escort them. Some walk quietly, some resist, some pray. The atmosphere is tense, everyone knows where this walk ends. Witnesses, families, media, officials watch from behind glass. The team secures the prisoner to the gurney or chair. A medical technician inserts IV lines for lethal injection. The warden asks for final words. Some apologize, some proclaim innocence, some say nothing. The curtain opens, the warden gives the signal. The execution begins. Final, irreversible. The procedure is swift, clinical, the last steps are taken, and the end arrives. The ritual is complete. The room falls silent. After the execution, silence fills the chamber. Witnesses leave, carrying the weight of what they've seen. For the victim's family, closure is complicated. For the condemned, grief is permanent. The media turns the event into news. Staff remove the body, sign documents, and return to routine. The emotional impact lingers for everyone involved. The death watch cell is emptied, personal items return to family. The cell is cleaned, but memories remain. The space holds the story of a life's final hours. The prison resumes, but the atmosphere is heavy. The questions of justice and humanity linger. The execution's impact ripples outward, families, staff, community. It's not just the end of a life, but a challenge to our beliefs. The story continues in memory and debate. The echoes remain, long after the final word is spoken.